The Deebot X9 Pro Omni is Ecovacs' newest flagship model, which means it has a combination of technologies which put it at or near the very top of the best robots we've ever tested. One technology is their Osmo roller style mop. Now, in my opinion, this is superior to spinning mop pads or vibrating mop pads. It also has a new air movement system called Blast, and it focuses on airflow over suction. But this robot has some downsides as well. Ecovacs sent me this unit for review, but that's all. They have no input into this video, and I show you the footage from the over 20 different tests that we do so we can be as transparent as possible, and you can make your own decisions. Now, the Deebot X9 Pro Omni is not the first robot to use a roller style technology, but they have significantly improved upon it because this has the ability to squeegee out dirt and collect it as it is actively mopping. This mop pad rotates at 220 RPM, and as it's doing that, it scrapes the dirt into this little container. And it'll carry the dirt back to the base station, so it's not continuously re-dirtying your floor, and also this mop pad is being refreshed with fresh water. And you can see this moves out to the side, unlike the designs of some previous competitors. This also supplies 3,700 pascals of downward pressure, so it's going to be able to apply more force where you've got an especially dirty area. And because of the roller pressure, the continuous rinsing and scraping, it should leave less streaks on the floor. We're going to test that in just a minute. This also features their Zero Tangle 3.0 system with a V-shaped main brush. It comes out like this, so you can easily take it out if you need to clean it. You've got some teeth along here, which is going to be anti-tangle, and the side brush as well. Just a single side brush. This is supposedly anti-tangle also. It does not extend like some of the competitors, but it does stick out pretty far. To test the mopping performance, I spilled coffee and then dried it and waited about 24 hours. So pretty sticky right now, and it should take a few passes to get it off. The X9 has an AI stain detection technology using the RGB camera, and it's supposed to do multiple passes until it's clean. Now, it just went back to wash the roller mop. Let's just see how clean the floor is after the first pass. So it's pretty dry. It's not using a lot of water, and I don't see any coffee on here at all. I can feel a little bit of dampness. So far, that's probably the most impressive result I've seen from any mopping robot yet. This is very impressive. This is the map, so you can see actually where it detected the dirt and did a whole bunch of extra passes there and cleaned that coffee stain. Ultimately, the X9 went back to the base station to clean them up 4 separate times to clean up the coffee stain. Now, you might think that's a lot, but if you're not home, I don't think it really matters. So it's not the fastest thing in the world, but it is very good at what it does. Now we're gonna perform the same test with wet soy sauce. Going back to wash the mop, but let's check out how clean it is so far. There is the slightest hint of soy sauce on here. It's at the base station now. It is currently cleaning. Let's see how it did. There is absolutely no soy sauce left here at all. It did go back to the base station to clean them up 4 times. Nothing on the paper cloth. For our carpet picket test, first we vacuumed the carpet, then we sprinkled 20 grams of sand onto the carpet and sent out the vacuum with maximum suction and maximum passes. We repeated the same test with another 20 grams of sand, but this time we ground it in with our special grinding in shoe. The X9 was able to pick up 84% of the sand that we sprinkled on the carpet. And when we ground it in, it picked up 80%. That is the best overall score we've seen for any robot vacuum. Now we're gonna check the anti-tangle capabilities of the robot. I've got some 8-inch hair. Let's see how it does. Now, I don't see a lot of hair, so I'd say this is quite effective at avoiding tangles with longer hair. Let's try it with some pet hair. We just finished sweeping up the pet hair, and again, this looks pretty good. We put some pet fur and rice into a corner to see how effective the X9 is at getting into corners. Now, even though the side brush doesn't extend, it's actually still pretty effective. It only left 2 grains of rice, and it did pick up all the cat hair. When cleaning grains of rice along the baseboard, the X9 does a good job, but it does tend to kick some of the grains of rice back out onto the floor. Now it collects those in a second pass. And this type of behavior we've actually seen from a number of robot vacuums. It looks like Deebot did slow down the speed of the side brush to help mitigate that issue, but I'm not sure how many people are actually picking up rice from their baseboards. So take that as you will. The mop on the X9 extends out to the side, so let's see how close it gets to the baseboard. It gets very close to it. It leaves maybe at most a ½ inch along the edge. So not as close as some of the robots with extending spinning mop pads, but it gets pretty close. Let's see how good it really is at getting into corners. It mopped into the corner about as effectively as a robot with an extending round pad. It's just really difficult to get right into a square corner. Next, let's talk about obstacle avoidance, which uses advanced AI. But you know what's not AI? Me. I'm a real person in front of the camera. These videos take days, sometimes over a week to make. So if you value that kind of content, real reviews with real opinions, please consider subscribing. The X9 has a suite of sensors for obstacle avoidance and navigation. It has LiDAR, a time of flight sensor. It has an RGB camera, and of course it has AI to tie everything all together. They say it's able to recognize 100 objects, including cables, toys, pet bowls. So it was successful in avoiding all of those objects, and you can see on the map it made big wide berths around all of them, and it even managed to avoid getting stuck on the shoelaces. That's one of the best performances I've ever seen. We're gonna do the same test again, but this time throwing down a phone charging cord. This might be tricky. You can see it did successfully avoid the cord, and it did see the fake pet poop. You can see it made a circle around it, but it did touch it. I've never seen a robot that's perfect, but this is very good. For some reason, a lot of robot vacuums do not spin their side brush while they are on carpet up against a baseboard. We checked the X9, and in fact it did, even though it didn't necessarily go in a straight line. Now the X9 isn't the thinnest robot on the market. It's about 3.8 inches high, or about 98 millimeters, but it is definitely low enough to get underneath my stove. And there's a big power cord under there, and it did not get stuck on it. Now the X9 has an advanced base station. This bag will hold up to 150 days of dirt. It's quite large. You've got a cleaning solution, which is automatically mixed in with water. It has hot water mop washing, and it can vary from 40 to 75 degrees Celsius, depending on the amount of dirtiness on your floor that it finds. It also has hot air drying. You've got a pretty large clean water tank and a dirty water tank. The effectiveness of the X9 does come with a downside. It's louder than competing robots. In normal vacuuming and mopping mode, it's around 65 to 66 decibels measured at around 10 feet. That's about the same noise level as an office conversation. When it's emptying the onboard dust canister, it's around 77 decibels, which is pretty loud, but similar to competitors, and it only lasts a few seconds. And when it's washing the mop, we measured it at around 53 to 55 decibels at 6 feet. Let's talk about the Ecovacs app. So it allows you to do multiple floors. You can set up custom zones so you can mop and vacuum a certain area. Within those zones, you can choose your cleaning mode, so you can vacuum and mop, or vacuum first, mop afterwards. Suction settings, water settings. You've also got control over the base station, empty the dustbin, wash the mop, dry the mop. And there's a fair number of advanced settings, including AI intelligent hosting mode, which means that basically you set the robot and let it do its own vacuuming and mopping and determine how it's going to mop and vacuum your room the best. It's quite a bit that you can do. And although it is quite good and quite easy to use when it maps out your room, it does not show you the furniture. So I've got this living room area mapped out here. I can see these hash marks are telling me that it can't go there because there's some boxes there, but it doesn't actually show you the furniture. I wish it did. You can add the furniture afterwards if you like, but it would be nice if it showed it. You can easily set boundaries and no-go zones. You can make a threshold wrap to tell it there's a threshold it has to go over. And overall, the app is very good. It's just not as good as the best. So where did the X9 score against all the other robot vacuums that we've tested so far? Well, very good. Now, if you want to keep up with the current vacuum deals and news, subscribe to our upcoming newsletter at vacuumnerds.com. So, how did the X9 do? Well, it actually has the highest score out of all the robot vacuums we've tested so far at 93 out of 100. It just edges out the Roborock Saros 10R and the Dreamy X50 Ultra by about 5 points, at least as of today. So why is that? Its carpet pickup ability is better than most robots that we've tested, and its mopping capability is actually the best. It has a very good balance of not using too much water and leaving streaks, and using just enough water to get rid of the stain. And also its AI capabilities at identifying stains and going back and remopping them until it's clean is the best we've actually seen. For all the robots that we test, I use them in my house for several weeks to get a sense of how they really perform in real world environments. And in terms of obstacle avoidance, it is very good. It's able to avoid shoes in my house, power cords, all the things that a lot of robots get tripped up on. It gets stuck very, very little. So it is very good in a real world setting. And even though it did run over the fake pet poop in our tests, it only did that once and not consistently. And I have not seen any robot that is perfect in this regard yet, although they're all getting better. Now, the main areas where it is not as competitive as some of the other offerings out there are speed, noise, and the amount of time it takes to mop your room. It goes back to the base station frequently to clean them up. Again, if you're not home, not a big deal. It is one of the louder robots out there, so if you're using it while you're at home, I wouldn't recommend using it at night. And you should definitely check out our top robot vacuums from early spring 2025 right here.